Hi. Welcome back. This is the second part of this tutorial set of how to make trance music. In our first part of the tutorial, we worked on creating a basic trance beat and adding effects to it. And a little bit on samples too. But what we're working on right now, in this next part, is we will be adding to our beat. We will be putting in new elements. We will eventually be getting to some other things as well, bass lines, synths, but right now we're still doing the percussion. Well, I don't want to bore you any longer, so let's get started. So here we are, and in case some of you have not gone and seen the first tutorial, I suggest that you go back on YouTube. So if you're viewing this on YouTube, just go to my profile and you should be able to find it. Anyway, just to refresh anybody's memories, I'm going to play this loop that we've created in the first tutorial. So let me do that now. And it's got some nice things to it, but it needs a little more. Now, I'll bet some of you are wondering why, in particular, I chose 64 beats. This is because later on in development, I add certain parts to the beat, and it's easier for me when I have them all together in one part of the sequencer. So, I'm going to be adding a beat here, halfway, and you'll just go along with me here, and I'm going to also drag this down so we have all four, and this is going to give it an extra oomph to it, or it'll make it sound a little more appealing. So let's get to that. And hopefully you could tell the difference. So that's our beat right there. Anyway, what we're going to do next is we're going to move on to using the playlist. Now, the playlist is this window right here. Now, well, I've already done some stuff with that. Very simple. I've taken our beat, which goes from 1 to 5, and I've added another one from 5 to 9. So what that'll do is it'll simply repeat it twice. Now, what we're going to do actually is we're going to split this. First, let me delete that. What we're going to do, alright, just follow me along. Right click on pattern 1, because this should be in pattern 1. If it's not in pattern 1, select the pattern that you are, that our beat is in. Right click on it and go to split by channel. And as you can see, it splits our instruments into different parts. So let's open up our sequencer here, and like I set it to 64 beats earlier, some of these are not going to be 64. So let's just set all of them to 64, unless you're using a different format than I am in this tutorial. Okay. Okay. And then, last but not least, the kick, which I think may already be there. Yep, it's already at 64. So, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to convert our kick to a piano roll. If this thing will let me. There we go. There we go. And that's our kick beat right there. And it's been converted into, I believe this is MIDI format. So this allows us to handle it a little differently. And this window that I'm opening right now, it's called the piano roll. And, well, it's a little obvious why. It has a piano. But it allows you to record your notes. We'll get to that later when we go into synth music. But for now, we're just gonna work with one note, and that note just happens to be C5. And we are going to be giving our kick beat. We're going to be giving our beat more variation. So that's why we put it into piano roll, is because piano roll can work with smaller increments of time than the sequencer can, or at least to my knowledge anyway. So I'm going to start with I'm going to start with this part. We have it set to play like this. And what we're going to do actually is we're going to change this part in particular at the end and give it a little more. We're going to up the ante on it. So I'm going to change this. So it's going to be 1, 1, and then 2 smaller ones in between, and then at the very end 4. Is that 1/6 of a beat, or is that 1/4? I think that's half a beat. Well, what it sounds like is this. I've already created a file, and since I don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to go through the process. But basically, you're just going to work with your beat, or more particularly the kick drum. But you can also work with your claps, your hi-hats even, and add a few things, take a few things out, change the sounds around, and eventually you'll get something really nice. But for the sake of time, I'm going to open up a file I've already finished. So I'm going to save this as the next version, and I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to find the particular beat that I want. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. And this is how you this is another way that you can take the information that you've plugged into a certain instrument and bring it over to another one. So you right-click the instrument, edit, copy, and then you just paste it into the other one. So I'm going to go back to where we were, and I'm going to paste that over core kick. And what we get is this. And that's pretty nice for a beat. Now, YouTube has a time limit for the videos, so I'm going to have to wrap this one up. But we will be resuming this at the next one. And in that one, we will be done with, in fact, we are done with percussion. In the next video, we will be moving on to bass lines, and possibly even synth. So that's that. Until then.